The moment you stop trying to make her stay is the moment she starts to feel something she didn't expect. Doubt. Not because you're playing games or trying to prove a point, but because something real in you has shifted. It's a quiet shift, almost invisible from the outside, but undeniable in its energy. You don't beg. You don't plead. You don't explain yourself anymore. You simply let go of the idea that she's the center of your world. And the truth is, that shift speaks volumes without a single word being spoken. It's in your body. Language, in the way you don't rush to reply, in how your eyes don't search for hers the way they used to. That shift is powerful, not because you're trying to hurt her, but because for the first time, you're choosing you. You're no longer emotionally leaning toward her, and whether she admits it or not, she can feel the weight of that absence. People always feel when your focus drifts, especially when they've grown used to having all of it. That's the part that makes her stop and wonder, why isn't he trying anymore? Why isn't he asking what's wrong? Why does he seem fine without me? That curiosity doesn't come from you being cold. It comes from you finally standing up straight emotionally and realizing that love shouldn't be something you chase down, beg for, or negotiate. When you stop reaching, you create a space she didn't expect to feel, and that space echoes. Silence becomes louder than words because it forces her to sit with herself. And in that stillness, in that pause, she's left to wonder if she ever really had you, or if she just got used to a version of you that needed her more than you needed yourself. Emotional distance creates curiosity in a way words never could. When you pull back, it's not about ignoring her or playing some kind of childish game. It's about shifting your energy inward. It's about redirecting your attention back to yourself instead of constantly handing it over to someone who may not have valued it in the first place. And what happens when you do that is powerful. Suddenly, you're no longer predictable. You're not on standby. You're not rushing to reply to her texts or double-tapping her photos like clockwork. You're not there, waiting, eager to prove your worth anymore. And that unpredictability makes her stop. It makes her curious in a way that cuts deeper than any argument ever could. She starts to notice what she didn't pay attention to before. The calm in your tone, the silence in your spaces, the absence of your usual energy. And that absence creates a mystery. Women are drawn to mystery, not because they like confusion, but because they're wired to notice change in behavior, especially from someone who once gave them consistent attention. Now, instead of you chasing, she starts searching. She might check your social media, replay past conversations, or ask mutual friends what's going on with you. Not because you told her to, not because you begged, but because the pullback makes her question where your mind has gone, where your emotions have gone, where you have gone, and the best part is, it's not revenge, it's not anger, it's not bitterness, it's power, quiet, calm power. When you stop being emotionally available to someone who didn't appreciate you, you don't need to explain anything. Your absence speaks for you. And the questions she's now asking herself? Those are the questions you used to ask alone. Detachment is what forces her to feel the loss. As long as you're showing up every day, emotionally present, available, for every mood swing, reacting to every mixed signal, she doesn't truly feel what life is like without you. She doesn't feel the weight of your absence because you're always there, ready to fill in the blanks, ready to solve the confusion, ready to explain yourself over and over again. And when someone doesn't feel your absence, they'll never fully appreciate your presence. That's why detachment is necessary, not out of coldness, not out of cruelty, but out of balance. It's about creating contrast, because no one understands the value of warmth until they've felt the cold. When you stop initiating, stop chasing, stop overcompensating for her emotional distance, that's when things get real. Suddenly, the attention she used to take for granted disappears. The compliments stop. The texts get shorter or stop altogether. The energy she fed off of isn't there anymore. And in that silence, she starts questioning everything. What happened? Did I push him too far? Is he done with me? Those thoughts begin to circle in her mind because now the dynamic has changed. You're no longer performing. You're not trying to impress her. You've pulled your emotional investment back, and she can feel the gap. It's not about punishing her. It's about showing her what life looks like without your constant effort. And that realization is often more powerful than anything you could say. Silence forces reflection. It creates a discomfort she didn't expect to feel. And in that space of uncertainty, she starts realizing that she may have taken you for granted. That's the shift. That's the moment where she finally begins to feel what you were feeling all along. The man who walks alone isn't heartless, and he's not bitter. He's just learned that real strength comes from within, not from someone else's approval. You don't gain respect in a relationship by convincing someone to stay. You gain it by knowing deep down that you'll be just fine if they go. That's not ego. It's self-respect. Most men don't get this. They stay in situations where they're constantly being tested, constantly proving themselves, constantly bending just to be chosen. And the sad part is, the more you do that, the more she pushes to see how far you'll go. The moment she senses that you're afraid of losing her, the tests begin. Boundaries get pushed, standards get ignored, and most guys fold because they're operating from fear, not strength. But the man who walks alone plays a different game. He doesn't talk about leaving. He doesn't threaten. He doesn't make dramatic exits just for attention. He simply stops showing up when his respect is no longer being honored. That's what shakes her to her core. It's not the words, it's the energy. It's that deep, grounded knowing in you that says, I won't stay where I'm not valued. And when you have that kind of energy, people move differently around you because they can sense it's real. Walking alone doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care about yourself more than staying somewhere you're not appreciated. That's leadership. That's masculine presence. That's the kind of strength that doesn't need to announce itself because it's felt. And when a woman realizes she can't play with you the way she could with every other guy, that's when the reality hits her, you're not the same. You don't chase what doesn't value you. You choose yourself. And that's what makes you unforgettable. There's a shift that happens when you stop explaining your worth and start embodying it. You realize that no amount of convincing will make someone see your value if they've already decided to overlook it. So you stop explaining. You stop writing long texts trying to justify why you deserve better. You stop rehearsing conversations in your head hoping that the right words will make her understand. Instead, you turn that energy inward. You build, you grow, you evolve, not for her, but for yourself. And the beauty of evolving in silence is that people start to feel it before they ever see it. Your energy changes first. Your focus sharpens. Your posture shifts. The way you carry yourself speaks before you even open your mouth. Now, instead of asking for her attention, you become harder to reach, not because you're avoiding her, but because your life is actually moving forward. Your time is being spent on things that actually build you, and when that happens, you no longer give her the same emotional access she once had, and that creates uncertainty in her. Where does she stand with you now? Was she the one who caused this distance? Did she lose something she didn't know she valued? It's not about revenge, and it's not about playing games. It's about choosing self-respect. Women don't respect what chases them endlessly. They respect what stands still and commands its own space. They respect a man who doesn't seek validation but moves with certainty. The shift happens when you stop acting like she's the prize and start treating yourself as one. And when she finally sees that the man she once knew has evolved into someone she no longer has easy access to, that's when she feels the weight of what she lost. And by then, you've already won.